All right, so here is the modeling exercise that we were looking at in class. This is a pretty simple model. Uh, remember, we are assuming the position of a general partner, and we are going out and raising money to subsidize our equity check from a limited partner. So to be able to do that, we need to demonstrate that this property is a good idea, right? It's a good business plan, and that, it's worth investing in. So, financial model, you know, with some research-backed assumptions, and a year-to-year kind of performance demonstration with return metrics. We'll be able to hopefully demonstrate that. So we'll try to do this real quick, and the goal, I'll try to do this without touching my mouse, and that should make it, pretty interesting. So this is a 5-year model, so we're going to use 6 years. We're going to model out to 6 years because whenever we calculate what's called the reversion value, which is the hypothetical price or market value of the property if we were to sell, given our exit cap rate assumption, we're going to use the next year's net operating income to calculate that. So if we're holding for 5 years, we will need to see the net operating income at year 6 to be able to calculate our property value that we are projecting when we saw at that point. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So year 1 will go here. Okay. Whoops. I'm already fat fingering this. We'll go ahead and populate our years. And then let's do the end of the month. And then I'll hit that with the year month formula. I'll put some elevators here. Gross potential revenue would be our rent per square foot times our square footage. Okay, and we don't know the actual property's projection, what it will be, but since we have our base year's potential rental income and our growth rate, we can just extrapolate that. Okay, so the way we're going to do that is we take our previous year, multiply that by 1 plus our growth rate. Okay. And GPR, gross potential revenue, is how much money your property would bring in if we were to operate it at its maximum capacity, so no vacancy. Obviously, if the property is a little bit vacant, you would not be bringing in that much, as much money as your GPR. But in this model, we have no vacancy, so we'll say 0 right there. Other income, this could be stuff like, if you charge parking or pet fees, or like a laundromat, stuff like that. So anything other than rent that is bringing in money. So then our effective gross income is our GPR minus our vacancy plus our other income. Okay. Operating expense. Think like utilities, taxes, oh yeah, I do need to multiply that. What are some other things? Management fee, I guess that's already in there. costs going into our operations. So operating expense is also growing by 2.5%. Okay. Management fee is here. So percent of revenue, which will be our EGI. Yep. And then total expenses, alt equals, will auto sum. Copy that over. And our net operating income then is our, revenue minus our expenses. All right. Capital expenditures. The reason this is an expense, right? But the reason why it's below the net operating income line, you'd expect it to be above, right, with the expenses. So CapEx is things like renovations, or, let's say if you redo your roof, you're not going to do that every year. Maybe every few years, or even like major renovations. You won't do that every year either. That's going to be, a cost incurred every once in a while. So that's why we're not calculating that on a year-to-year operating kind of level. It will be below the line because it's kind of on its own category. Yeah, so this is growing by 2%. So then our net cash flow would be our NOI minus our CapEx. Other line items that could be below the line are things like tenant improvement allowance or leasing commissions, stuff like that. Okay, exit cap rate assumption. So this would be our reversion value. So hypothetically, how much, are we valuing our property based on, any given time. So that would just be our next year's NOI divided by our exit cap rate assumption. Okay, so it looks like in year one, our property is worth less than what we are paying for it, but we start getting some gains after that. By year 5, it is $700,000. Okay, that's good. So cash flow. The first thing would be, this is unlevered, so it would just be our property value. We are assuming that we're paying cash for it. Then the next one would be our net cash flow, simply. Sale assumption. So this is like the same thing. So I will only want to see any, cost or price, any money coming in from the sale of the property. I only want my model to show that if I actually sell it. So I'll do an if statement. So if my current year matches my exit year, then show this, right? That's our reversion value, which I've already calculated. If not, show me 0. Cool. So in year 5, we should see a big fat number. Nice. So then if we change this number to like 3, you can see that it calculates it there. It's dynamic. Okay. Exit fees, I'll do the same thing. So now, exit fees would only be incurred if we are selling the property. So I'll do that same thing. If my current year equals my exit year, then the math would be our exit costs. Multiply that by our sale price. If not, show me 0. I guess we don't have to do this if statement, because if it's not, if we're not selling anything, it shows 0 on our sale cost anyway, our sale price. But oh well. So total, this is simply our initial outflow. This is our unlevered cash flow plus however much we make at sale minus the fees, right? Okay, now let's calculate our cash on cash return. So it would be our total cash flow divided by our equity check, which is here. So it's going to be high in our exit year because of that injection, cash injection from the sale. Our IRR would be this, 9%. Equity multiple is all the money made divided by all the money we put in. Alright, now let's do our leverage stuff. Debt service, I don't know that, so let's calculate it. We're going to start with 0. Range of 60 months. Our end balance would be our loan amount, which is our purchase price times our loan to value. And then our start balance at year 1 would be our end balance at year 0. Okay, now our payment, with the payment function we can find this. Our rate is 6.33%, and this, we have a monthly period, so divide that by 12. Number of periods is 30 years times 12, because there's 12 months in a year. Present value is my loan amount. Okay. And that would be locked, and I don't need my future value. Type, we will say, we'll tell Excel that we're paying everything at the end of the month. Let's find our interest real quick. Okay, so that would be the same thing. Periods times 12. Number, oh, that would actually be our current period, which is here. Then our number of periods. Okay, boom, 12. Present value would be our start balance at my current period. Okay, so that would not be locked. Future value, we can skip that part. And end of the period payment. Same thing for principal. It's a little repetitive, but once you do it one time, we can drag it down. So current period is 1. Number of periods. PV would be my loan balance, which is locked. Skip this one, 0. Okay, now our end balance, our loan balance, right, would be our start balance minus our principal amount. But since it's negative, I can just add it together. And there we go. Okay, hopefully I did everything right. Let's double check. You know you did it correctly when you see a nice clean 0 at the last period. Okay, so now we can calculate our debt service. This is, for this model, you wouldn't normally do this, but you see how my payment amount is the same? So, you know, for this model, we can just simply take one of these guys and multiply it by 12 since it's annual. Okay, loan payoff amount. This would be our outstanding balance on the loan. So the way I would do that is probably with an if statement. I want that to display if, let's see, levered cash flow. Yeah, we're gonna add together. So I only want it to display if my if I'm selling the property. Okay, because then I would want to know how much am I paying off that's left on the loan. So if that equals our exit year, I will then do, I'll have to look up my end balance. So X lookup would be my current year times 12. And I'm going to look that up here. Lock that. And then I wanted to return from this. Okay, lock that, comma. If not found, I can skip that. Match mode, we'll say exact match, comma. I don't think I need that. Ah, I forgot one part. If not, say 0. Yeah. Great. So now I know my loan payoff amount anytime I want to sell. Great. And that's dynamic. It's working. Now let us calculate our levered cash flow. So our first one would be year 0, which is our initial equity check. So that will be my purchase price times 1 minus my LTV. Because I don't want the loan amount, I want the whatever's left over. My equity check. So that would be negative because I'm spending money on that. Okay. And then my other cash flows would be my unlevered cash flow minus my debt service minus our IO. What did I do? Oh. Fat finger. Okay. There we go. Cash on cash. Okay. And then I can just do negative that. Lock. Okay. My cash on cash is lower, so that probably means I'm being bogged down by my debt service. Oh, interesting. But since my payoff from the exit year actually boosts my IR, so it makes up for the lower cash on cash return during my hold period, but we have a much higher cash on cash return at sale, so my overall IRR is still higher than my unlevered. Makes sense. Okay, equity multiple would be money I made divided by my equity check. That's the wrong format. There we go. Okay, so now I can delete my elevators, and then we can move on to our sensitivity table. Okay, so this tells us, you know, if my exit cap or my price, you know, changes, how does that affect my IRR? That's basically what we are asking. So we'll do one for unlevered. We'll do another one for levered. So exit cap rate is 7. Plus maybe 1/4%. Change that to negative. price was 600. $25,000. Maybe I can do. Oops. Maybe I can do 50,000, but I think 25 is good. Okay. I could have copied that whole thing. I don't know why I did that one by one. Okay, Alt A W T. Okay, my row would be my cap, right? Column would be my purchase price. Okay, you know you did it right when these match. The one in the middle and this one here. Again. Alright, so now I can see if my exit cap rate goes up at the same price, my IRR goes down. If my exit cap goes down, of course my IRR would go up because I can sell it at a higher price. If I'm overpaying for the property, even at the same exit cap, my IRR is lower. Okay, and for the levered, same story. The lower my exit cap, higher my IRR. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Good thing I caught this. Good thing I caught that. There we go. Nice. Okay. So that's it. I know we kind of went through it a little fast, but feel free to watch it back, pause it, and if you need any formulas, I'm sure if you pause it at the right time, you'll be able to see it. All right? Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.